element of the so-called Shia crescent, in which Tehran wants access through Iraq, Syria, and into Lebanon and the Mediterranean through its proxy militias in Iraq and, of course, in Lebanon with Hezbollah. Assad was a key to that route.
Over the last 13 years, dozens of groups fought against the Assad regime and each other. But today there are three main ones who hold territory within Syria. There's the Syrian National Army, or SNA,
which is basically a hodgepodge of different rebel groups that had fought the regime all over Syria, but had been displaced to northern Syria in recent years. And they have become this somewhat undisciplined army that is backed by Turkey, and unfortunately often has to do Ankar's bidding for that reason, rather than face off with the regime.
Then there's the Syrian Democratic Forces, another hodgepodge of rebel groups of primarily Kurdish fighters, an ethnic minority. They're backed by the US and often clash with the Turkish-backed SNA.
And quite critically, they guard the prisons in the northeast that have ISIS fighters in them. So they're a really critical component to stability as well.
And then there's the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS. This is who ultimately led the offensive to capture Damascus. They were originally established as an al-Qaeda affiliate, led by a man who later led ISIS. They broke ties with al-Qaeda in 2016, but are still considered a terrorist organization by the US, Turkey, and others.
It was in firm control of Idlib city and much of the province beforehand, and had ruled that area with an iron fist, but it is one of the more disciplined and independent armed groups in Syria.
In late November, HTS advanced from Idlib to Aleppo, which they seized in just a few days, with not just military and violence, but governance.
They immediately went into Aleppo and they tried to prevent looting, protect government institutions. They told former soldiers and government employees to stay in their posts as long as they renounced any kind of, allegiance to Assad. They went around and tried to reassure minorities that they would not be harmed.
Assad and Russian forces launched airstrikes in Aleppo and Idlib. At least 12 civilians were killed. But it didn't slow HTS, who quickly took Hama, Homs, and eventually moved on to the capital, Damascus. Assad fled to Russia, and Syrians celebrated across the country and across the world.
I think what was most shocking is the abandonment of Assad by his stalwart allies, Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah in particular.
Experts believe these allies were too entangled in their own conflicts, with Israel and Ukraine, to have been much help to Assad.
To see the Russians abandon Assad in the way that they did in recent days was actually quite shocking. They certainly at least want to maintain their naval base and their air base in Syria, and yet when the rebels fell Aleppo, messages out of the Kremlin seemed to be, Assad, deal with it, we're busy. Turkey seems to be the winner in all of this. They have potentially green-lighted this offensive in the first place. They will be able to essentially carry out whatever they want in Syria in the next couple of months as we wait for the new US president to come in. And that is a really terrifying future for the Kurdish population in Syria.
This is a historic day for the Middle East. The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity, but also is fraught with significant dangers.
Besides the conflicts between Turkish and Kurdish forces, we could see Russia assert power in other countries, or Iran too.
Many people are wondering if they will simply accelerate the nuclear program, which it seems like they're doing, as a different sort of deterrent strategy, or even a chemical weapons program for that matter.
And within Syria, the occupying forces are still labeled as a terrorist organization, which could make cooperation and humanitarian aid difficult.
We know that they have some bad behavior in Idlib, but they're also a very pragmatic group and desperately want to get off of the terrorism designation list. So there is a vulnerability that was there to exploit. If people are not allowed to invest, if aid is not allowed to get into the country, it's going to be a real disaster. Likewise, if the designations are lifted without getting any kind of promises or reassurances of what HTS behavior
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Mr. Nick.
I'm 85 Slim.
The Vulgar Locker Room.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Nick is back, and we are here to talk about an update regarding Syria. As the video explains, Syria is no longer under Assad's regime, but many are saying that this change is a handover from one regime to the next. I'm hearing that there is a terrorist, the leader of the country now has connections to Al Qaeda. Mr. Nick, what do you think about Syria breaking away from Assad? Do you think that this is a positive future for Syria? Do you think this is good for America and Israel relations?
So we have to go back just a little bit. I believe the beginning of the mess of this Syria war was the Obama administration when they started that barrage, and then Russia gets involved, Turkey gets involved. It's one big mess, right? And then Assad gets removed, right, one way or another. We're seeing all the details of the last couple of years of how he handled his people, the civilians, just the brutality of what happened there. Yes, we do have a new guy in town. Americans and Western media is saying it's promising. But going back to what you're saying, yes, he's a former ISIS affiliate. That's just what he is. Do I think it's going to be better or more controlled? Maybe. I'm not sure. I do know the non-Muslims there now are asking to get rescued the last couple of days. That's the Druze, Christians. They're already asking Israel and other allies to pull them out. Because
there's women saying that people are cornering them, telling them that they need to wear head wraps, and they are not Muslim, they are Christian women. That's what they're putting on X. I don't know how true that is. That's what I've seen.
Is this surprising to us that an Islamic country will make you wear a kafia or cover yourself or practice or any religion? It's not. So therefore, do I think, the people in there are going to suffer no matter what, okay? No matter who's there. And my heart goes out to them. But if it's going to be better for the world, I can't say yes. I cannot.
Guys, do you have any questions or comments?
It's so confusing. I'm just like, what's the end game here? But I think I said that the last time we talked. Is it just going to go from one regime to another, like group taking over, and then it becomes, because remember, everybody was happy. Now we're finally liberated. And I think I mentioned that too in the last segment when we talked about it, that now the new whoever comes in, are they really going to be peaceful? They have their own agenda that the masses aren't going to like.
Well, I know Joe Biden was happy that the Assad regime fell. So he's technically still the president right now. So I don't know Trump's feelings on it. I didn't see Trump say anything about it. I just saw him say, just stay out of it. Like, that's serious business. That's kind of his approach. So I don't know how it does for America. And then, as you can see, Netanyahu, that's how you say his name right, he basically is happy that the Assad regime fell. And America mostly wants what he wants, so I'm assuming this is good for America.
Nick, why is there record-breaking bombs from Israel? Can you comment on that? They said
I want to
that
go back a little
dropped.
bit to what Gary just said. That Netanyahu is kind of saying that this is good for Israel, good for America. I think, from what I'm hearing, Biden wants to show that Ukraine was a success because they're able to back up Russia out of Syria, right? And also that Israel defeating the Iran proxies and stuff like that also got them to back up. So it makes him look like he picked the right team, and that's why it looked good. Now, as far as Israel goes, very simple. Since the 70s, we had a peace agreement with Syria and the Assad family. That was 99% peaceful, believe it or not. There wasn't issues. There was not a lot of bombing or wars between Syria and Israel, not even anything in the last 50 years. Even when Obama came in, Israel was hesitant to help, right? Because we had a peace treaty. So now you have this peace treaty, that administration is gone. Now you have a new administration. So Israel has no affiliation with the new administration. So they are attacking certain weapons, certain bases, certain things that could be potential risk to Israel. Why do we say potential? Because the second they took over the new leadership, HTS, that's in their, let's just say when they were chanting for their victory in Arabic, they said Jerusalem is next. So maybe that's the reason Israel did what they did. I do know that Israel was in the Golan Heights, and they kind of stayed back for 50 years, and they had to go in about a quarter mile, half a mile, just because, again, you have no peace treaty with these people. So they did have to take some territory and put some bases there, and along with that, go with bombings. I think that people are scared to give these people weapons. We know what happened in Afghanistan with all the weapons left there, where it's been used, and how it came back to bite people in the butt. And I think they're kind of doing a precaution and wiping out all of these weapons, but it's, very quietly in the Middle East, I noticed that no one is realizing the moves that Turkey's making the last couple of years. They have very, very sneaky been using their powers in certain areas in the Middle East. Don't know what's going on there. I know they have in the last 15 years went from more of a center country. It was a country that we even visit. It was very much from Israel to Turkey is like from here to Vegas. And it was a very fun place, food, all that stuff. Not so welcoming now for Jews, right? It went through an Islamic regime change. So I think that's a little interesting too, seeing Turkey kind of maneuver.
Wow. I want to play this clip. I want to show you guys what happened the other night, and we can talk about it. So pretty much, they said that that bomb was so intense that it registered on the Richter scale. So I'm still not understanding why Israel has now has to bomb Syria to this level. Like I'm not understanding what is the reason. He is out. This is who they want out. They have a leader in that, was from what all accounts what I'm hearing, the US had a hand in putting him in place. So why now have a bomb of that intensity and that level?
I think, first of all, nothing gets done without the Americans knowing. Okay. Israel is not just going and saying, you know what, we're not comfortable, we're going to do this, call you later. No. I do think, and I'll repeat this, I do think the Biden administration did learn their lesson from what happened in Afghanistan with weapons. There is a scramble there for power. There is a lot of things going on there. And I do think Israel bombing these facilities and these weapons of capability, whatever you want to call it, is they're taking a precaution. Now that one is registering like a mini earthquake. Yeah. Is that possible? I'm not going to deny that. Is that possible? Yeah, 100%. We see it on TV. To me, there's no civilians there, right? This is not Lebanon. This is not Gaza. This is much different. Do I think that Israel has the right to defend itself because they don't know of potential problems? I do think so. The type of bombs that they're using, we can argue about that all day. Is it the right one? Is it not? I'm not a weapon expert. I don't see a problem in it. I mean, this is the same thing when America feels threatened. If we're talking about the Cuban thing, anything that, is a threat to certain Russia, right? Perfect. Russia went into Ukraine. For a lot of different reasons, from them going to NATO, feeling that it's their country, maybe going to NATO, people going back on their promises. I do think that, certain countries will protect themselves no matter what. And some will obviously use, the full capability of their power to kind of bully. I think Israel, we can say, this is my opinion, is not doing that. And the reason I'm saying that is because Israel, for the last 20 years, has been taking things on the chin from every country. Literally anything for peace, anything for peace, anything for peace, right? And then you get Gaza, right? October 7th. You get Lebanon, you get Iran, you get all these countries attacking them. So Israel is going to do what it needs to do to protect itself. I don't remember one war that Israel has ever started. I don't remember one war that Israel just decided one day we are going in there. With no, even with Iran, with the ballistic missiles, they shot them first. We returned. They shot them. Whatever. It was like 2-3 times. I don't think Israel is an aggressor. I do think that Israel has been kind of nonchalant the last 20 years. The world got used to that. And now that Israel is kind of like, we're not doing that anymore after October 7th, I think there's a lot of criticism. And I see that online. I see everything that's going on in the last 12 years in Syria. It's like no one wants to talk about any other country, what Russia did there, what America did there. They just want to talk about the bombs that Israel's throwing. Now, for me, that's a little bit lopsided. You know, we can't, if I'm a cop in a neighborhood, right, I have to treat everybody the same. If you're making noise, if you're beating up your dog, right, I should go and do what I got to do. But I can't just pick on that one house when everybody else is doing the same. That's kind of how I feel like Israel is on there. Because I see people online. Israel is extending its borders. Israel is getting bigger. They're going to go into Syria. They're going to take land and they're going to do settlements. That is just crazy, right? That's never going to happen.
So, Nick, that's not true because I don't know this factually. So again, I'm just telling you what I saw on X, like just scrolling through.
Right.
They said that they're inching on the border. That's not true. They're not on the border.
No,
and there's a video that I could play
the
you
army bases
of
are.
them planting a flag in Syria. Their
Correct.
Israeli flag.
Correct.
So how is that not taking
No,
taking
but that's not settlements. That is territory. The same thing is happening in Gaza, right?
So
The same-
I feel like we're doing like like word salad here. Like, oh, like that's settlement, that's not land. Like, what's the difference? Like that is inching into land and
they are
saying this is our
okay.
land.
So this is how I see it. If you don't see it the same way, that's fine. I'll explain
No,
to
no,
you
no. I
how.
want to understand though. I would just want to know.
So,
I just want to get
so,
it, understand what's going
so
on.
Exactly. So I'll tell you the best way I know, the best way with the research that I'm knowing. They had an agreement with Syria for 50 something years. They left their borders, their stations, their flags that we're talking about that were planted in the Golan Heights, right? That's where they left them. They haven't moved. Israel didn't move their bases for 50 something years since the 70s, right? This new regime comes in. Israel says, we're not comfortable with where we're positioned. We need to move a little bit more east. Now, it's not like they're going in 10 miles, right? It's not like they're building facilities. They extended their army bases because the way Syria is, it's higher than Israel. So you don't have a perfect view. Now, do I think it's going to stay there forever? No. But if I'm being honest, yeah, they did expand their base. That is not the same thing as making Israel bigger. There's not going to be any populations there. They're not going to build anything there. They are going more inside. I mean, if to you that's taking territory, that's your understanding, that's fine. To me, it seems like it's a security measure that they're taking. That's how I see it. I might be different for you guys.
Slim, you look like you want to say something. What you think?
You're muted, dear.
My bad. You guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all in the increase of chaos. I'm not surprised in anything that we're dealing with because again, they didn't want the guy to win for a reason. I just believe that whatever they had going on, he's interfering with something that I probably couldn't mention on this channel or mention on this
What
channel.
guy?
But I'm
Who are you
talking
talking about? What guy?
I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about Trump. I just think that
Who
he's
didn't want Trump to
interfering.
win?
None of the Democratic Party, none of the, none of
okay.
those people that's involved with whatever he's interfering with, which again, I'm not going to state on this channel. And I just think that there's a bigger agenda that he's in the way of. And when he mentioned something, when he said that He said that they're not after me, they're after you guys. I'm just in the way. I prepared myself for everything to get worse, even after he win, before it gets better. That's why I'm not surprised. I'm sitting back listening, because what you guys are seeing, it will get worse before inauguration. We may see martial law, that we may see a lot of things go on. These people don't want him in power, and there's a reason for it. The question is why.
Vogel, do you agree with what Slim is saying as the other Republican?
Yeah, I kind of think that there's some backlash and stuff going on. I, I kind of feel like that's what the part of the drone situation too. But back with you, Gray, being in the military, so
Yeah.
with you showing that bomb, would that be like a bunker buster type bomb? And if that's to penetrate the ground, if that's the reason, what's up under there?
Well, I was deployed to Iraq, and we dealt with IEDs. So this is just like, these people can like build mechanical devices, but it was nothing that explosive, like on that type of
I'll
Richter
show it to
scale.
you.
So
Like a bunker buster. That's like the most powerful bomb right before nuclear. It can
yeah,
penetrate up to 200 feet. Disclosure, I kind of have like a obsession with researching this type of stuff, military grade weapons. So I do have some knowledge of, and that's that's right before nuclear. So what I want to know is what are they trying to get underground?
Weapons.
That's the only reason to drop that type of bomb.
Maybe they have bunkers or tunnels like the way they did in Gaza, I'm assuming.
It's weapons. They're known to be very crafty. And if you look at Lebanon, every garage had those little flat beds that had a missile on them. You pull them out, right? Gaza, everything under the buildings, terror tunnels, whatever. That's how I see it. But Gary actually, he did some work in Iraq. Probably knows better than me.
Yeah, I think Volga explained it way better. But Slim, you can say whatever you want to say, but don't get us canceled.
No, please don't say what
That's why I be chilling, bro. That's why I be chilling.
His tongue.
I be chilling, man. I be like, I can't even elaborate on certain things, but I'm listening though. You know what I mean? When we get on Rumble, I got you though.
Nah, I agree with Slim. Y'all need to let me get over there too.
I have a Rumble.
I can really be
it.
vulgar, yeah. But
Slim is right. Slim is right. He's exactly right. 2016, Trump comes in. At this point, wasn't hated, and kind of opens the curtain for us. Starts calling people fake news. Right. Starts doing all these things, and then this uproar of Donald Trump being Hitler and everything he is starts coming out. Russia collusion comes out, bought and paid for by the Clintons. Right. He just won his recent lawsuit against ABC for calling him a rapist, even though it was a sexual assault. Right. I think they settled at 17 million. He's donating that money. January 6th, we're seeing some stuff coming out of there. 28 FBI agents. 3 were actually supposed to be there. 26 went in their own will. How do you get 26 FBI agents in the same place without planning? We all know FBI does months and months and months of research. The pipe bomb that supposedly blew next to Kamala on tape. But we don't have a person. I don't know. A lot of this stuff is coming out slowly but surely. The drone stuff, there's a lot to it. Right? Who is it? What is it? And Trump says, we know where it is. We know where it came from. Don't buy it. The thing that bothered me is what is it doing in Bedminster? Right? That's where Trump goes. Right. And I think he said, I'm not there this weekend. Right?
Crazy.
Remember when I was on this one time, I told you that Iran made a video 2 years ago of drones coming into Mar-a-Lago and taking them out. Remember I told you about that video?
Yes.
That's the first thing I was thinking about when I saw those drones.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying they're China. So could be China backed by Iran. They all put money in a pot. Russia and then the biggest thing of all, and they all think I'm crazy. Well, maybe not slim. But they said that those bombs are searching for something. It would make, I mean, those drones are searching for
Nuclear
something. It would
stuff
make
that they say
sense.
might have came in through the border, some nuclear or some chemicals.
That's
Yeah,
what I said.
that's,
I
Oh, did
said
that's
y'all
the
what it is.
border has
did
something to do with
They
this.
did
looking
y'all
for
That's what
something.
I said.
somebody in Pennsylvania admitted that they have lost some
Hmm.
nuclear whatever. Yeah.
And they
And
don't
that's
want to
why they're
alarm the
going out at
public.
night, right? That's where they're going out at night for the sensors to detect
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
They're looking for it. I think they're half our drones, half foreign drones. I think they are China. I do believe that, and I do believe they could be China backed with Iran money. But okay, y'all, we can switch gears here. We're gonna move on to the Black Israelites. Has everyone on the call ever heard of them?
Yeah, and
Man.
to plug us real quick, we did a show last night, a deep dive on the drones last night. If you want to go and watch that video, whatever the name it was, go ahead, Nora.
Yeah, and you can check out my Rumble. I'm gonna do a deep dive this weekend called Beyond the Surface. But anyways, what I can't say on here. Um, so this first clip, uh, what's that guy, Jesse Peterson, your favorite guy, Gray? I'm gonna play a clip of him interviewing
You like
one.
Jesse Lee, Greg? Come on, man. Come on to the
I
right side. How you like
right,
Jesse
yeah,
Lee
right.
and you a
He doesn't.
Democrat?
That's a joke. He
Come
thinks Jesse
on.
Lee Peterson is GAY,
Oh,
allegedly.
okay,
Nah,
okay, man.
But
Jesse Lee Peterson, that dude.
Jesse Lee is the
y'all can
Yeah,
go
man,
he
check
bro.
that
out
dude.
our old video. We had me, D, White, and Gray. We did a breakdown of it. You can go watch why Gray feels that way. But anyways, this first clip. So tonight, the clips that I'm playing is going to be first with Jesse Lee Peterson. Then it's going to be another podcaster. He went in, a white guy, and he went and spent a week with the Black Israelites in New York City. And some of the things that they said were horrendous. They were racist. And I'm putting a disclaimer out there. These are not the views of the new party and any of our guests. But we have to talk about it because this is a real thing. So I'm going to play this first clip. Jesse Lee Peterson, he's funny. He interviews this guy. Let's hear what he has to say.
Let's go back to the phone lines. We'll talk next to Tiffany in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Hank. How are you?
Wait, that's not the clip for it. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Fallen State.
Are you a Christian?
I'm not a Christian. I'm an Israelite.
You a what?
An Israelite.
What's that?
You had an Israelite on your show. You had a Captain Tazariak on your show.
Oh yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah. You like that?
I like that. I
Are
am
you
that.
like you that kind of an Israelite thing?
You can say that, yes.
Are you?
Yes.
You agree with him?
Yes.
And why were you a Christian before you became an Israelite?
Yes, I was raised a Christian. I grew up in a Baptist church.
Really?
Right.
So you're known as a Black Israelite?
I'm known as an Israelite. See, the term Black Israelite is oppressive because we don't
Oppressive?
Yeah, it's unfair. We don't call Jewish people white Jewish people.
Why not?
You do that?
Uh-huh.
I never heard of
I didn't know the difference for a while because they look like white people to me.
that. We always say white Jewish people. We always say Jewish people. I never hear people saying white Jewish
Oh, I
people.
see. And so to call you Black Israelite is oppressive?
Yeah, it's unfair. Just call me an Israelite.
Oh.
Yeah,
And why did you switch from Christianity to Israelite?
because I studied and I found out the truth.
And what was that truth?
That Jesus is a Jew. You agree?
Jesus is a Jew?
Jesus, yeah, because he's still.
Well, he was while he was here.
He's dead.
No, he's not dead.
Where is he?
He's in us.
So is present tense.
Right.
So he is a Jew.
Right.
You agree?
That Jesus is a Jew?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So I found out the truth.
Well, the real Jesus is not a Jew. He's a spirit. But he came on earth as a Jew. He was born through a Jewish woman.
A Jew,
But the real
no,
Jew,
not
the real
a Jewish
Jesus
woman.
is
She was a Jew, not Jewish. The suffix ish,
whatever.
the suffix ish means somewhat like pertaining to, which is why we don't use it.
Oh man. So let me say. So yes, Jesus was a Jew.
Right. So I studied what made him a Jew. He was from the tribe of Judah. So the Bible focuses on lineage. It doesn't focus really on a religion. It's lineage based.
And so
So
that's why you switch from Christianity to what are you,
an
Israelite?
Israelite, yes. And I just so happen to
Because
be
Jesus was a Jew.
right. I just so happen to be from the tribe of Judah. I just so happen to be a Jew. You can be an Israelite and you could be from the tribe of Manasseh, Issachar, Gad, Nad. You could be from another one of the 12 tribes. I just so happen to be from the tribe of Judah.
And what good is it doing you to be an Israelite that it didn't do for you as a Christian?
Right. So a lot of Christians, they think that Jesus is white, and they hang that white Jesus up in their church, and it doesn't help you to serve a Jesus or a God that doesn't look like you. That's not to your benefit. That's to your detriment. My belief now is that Jesus and God, they look like me, and the people of the Bible look like me.
But what good is it doing you? What good is it doing you to be an
Israelite.
as opposed to a Christian?
When I was a Christian, I lived a life that was off, because a lot of Christian churches, the pastors, they preach that, no matter what you do, God will forgive you. You can be gay, you can be straight, you can get high, you can eat pork, you can do all of these different things. As an Israelite, I understand that that's not true. We
And you
can't
don't do
eat
any
pork.
of those
I
things?
don't.
You don't do it.
Okay, so I see we have probably maybe one of them in the chat that might know them, but they call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites or just Hebrew Israelites. Um, Gray, what's your thoughts on the clip that we just played?
I know that recently, I don't know if it was a few years ago, they actually did some type of DNA thing. I think it was in Ghana that proved that there were some Black Jewish people. I think the confusion comes with DNA and religion. So that's the issue that I have with what they're trying to say. And I know it comes from the passage where Abraham is told by God that the people will be in bondage for 400 years. And I don't know the passage, so I won't go into that. But I grew up Christian. My mother didn't really go to church, and my girlfriend is Catholic. So, I mean, I don't know. What about you, Mr. Nick, being the Jewish person on the call? What do you think about that? What you heard?
Okay. Do you mind if I try to elaborate a little bit? Is that okay to go a little bit deep?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, about the color thing, I don't care. Right? White, brown, black.
Same.
Don't care.
Same.
Has nothing to do with anything of what we're talking about. Thank you, Slim. But this is what I understood. I did a little bit of a deep dive. I understood that the Africans back, we're even talking about the 1700s, 1600s, found the Torah and the story of Moses leading the slaves out of Egypt into Israel. They found a relation to that because they were also oppressed and slaves. They found some sort of dynamic, some sort of, hey, I understand that. Hey, maybe we should do that with our people. And a little Judaism got popular there, right? Maybe it gave them something to look forward to, something how to get out of slavery, right? We know this existed in Africa. This is not a debate, right? Now, that's where I understood where it got a
Like
little bit of steam.
Ethiopia has Jews there, for example.
Big.
Yeah.
Yes.
We in Israel, we brought in 400,000 Ethiopians in the 90s from Ethiopia into Israel. So we know, right? They look like Jews look like everything, right? There's not one or two or three different types. So that's my understanding where it caught a little traction, kind of died off. In the 1800s, one of their prophets, one of their leaders named Frank, okay, kind of brought it back, brought it into America. Now, something is very important. This is not a religion thing. This is an ideology thing. Like you were saying, Nora, kind of like a cult. This is what it is. And they don't claim anything different. They do know it's an ideology. Now, the thing that I found more interesting with them is that they absolutely hate Jews. They, in Brooklyn, in New York, I think there was like a month or two where 10, 12 people got shot, synagogues, bakeries, whatnot. They also believe that the earth is not round. All of them, right? All believe that the earth is square. I don't know what that means, but I kind of find that funny that they all do believe that.
Square or flat?
Sorry, flat. Sorry, flat.
Okay,
They're
okay,
flat
okay.
earthers. That's what I meant. Sorry, they're flat earthers. Don't know what it has to do with it, but I kind of find that funny. And they do a lot of the what are those the head KKK people? What are they called? Grand something?
Grand Wizard.
Grand
Wizards said they are the black KKK, right? With the amount of anti-Semitic things that they do not like. So he actually endorsed them in a way, right? Because they have the same cause.
Right.
But that's the only thing that I've seen where it came from Africa. What they really do not like is Jews. I don't know. I know that they don't have a lot of members. I think they're barely at 10,000, somewhere around there. I mean, I've seen them talk. I've seen them online arguing with people that they are the real Israelites, which is funny because Israelites came from Judah. The original Israel, before Israel was called Judah, and the people there were called Israelites. So are they now saying that they are the original Israelites and they're the actually, and if you are the real Israelites, you should be celebrating Hanukkah, right? Because the Israelites defeated the Greeks and now we have the miracle of the 8 days of Hanukkah. I don't think they celebrate Hanukkah. I'm pretty sure they don't. So I don't know. That was just
no, and I also think they believe in Jesus. So that's like the different. Like they're saying that they're the Israelites as far as like lineage, but they follow Christian practices. And actually I have a clip that breaks down the 12 tribes that you're talking about. But I'll let everyone speak and then I'll play it.
Vulgar and Vulgar, I think your phone ringer is going through the mic.
No, that's not me.
Oh, that's not you? Somebody
with the
going on.
Yeah, I've been hearing it too.
Yeah. Slim, is that you?
No, I was on mute.
Somebody was going to but go ahead, Vulgar, my bad.
Man. As I hear all this, like I said, I'm not as well versed on all this, but it goes back to what I keep saying. It sounds like religious gangs. It sounds like they just trying to
So you're set up.
The religious Bloods, the religious Crips, that's what it's starting to sound like. Like we just got to form some type of gang just to be mad at the other side. Like we're bored. Life is so safe. We just got to form something. Everybody was in the church and then they got bored in church. So now to create these gangs within it. That's all it sounds like to me. It's just somebody looking for validation. It all sounds silly.
Dr. Umar dudes. I don't like none of them Dr. Umar dudes. Any one of them smart, dumb, and I call them smart, dumb. You know what I mean? But I don't want to say the N-word, but the reality is that's that Dr. Umar mindset. Black this, black that, black this. I don't care about none of that.
It's profitable.
That pisses me off.
Umar's he's making so much. He's lining his pocket. He's lining everything but his school.
Running his gums. He ain't doing nothing but dividing the people every day.
He making money.
I don't think
he's making money while he doing it.
I think Tariq Nasheed is worse than him though, because at least Dr. Umar acknowledges the Pan-African
all
people.
of them. All of them.
Like
it ain't about black and white, man. That's where we have an issue. These people are so stuck in slavery days and looking for reparations. I can't get with that, man. It kills me because we're in this country. It kills me that anyone can come here and benefit, but we live here and don't take advantage. It kills me.
Umar could have had 5 by now.
Let me play the 12 tribes of Israel and what they mean, because Nick brought that up.
It is unbelievably on point right now.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Can you describe what you got going on?
Oh, okay, I'm gonna give you this visitor's pass. That way we don't whoop your ass in.
Yeah, I was actually seeing if I could join.
No, you can't join.
Why is that?
Because you're not the race that we're allowed to join with.
What race you gotta be?
You gotta be one of the 12 tribes of Israel. In North Central and South America, they're primarily blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So if your father's like of Negroid descent, Native Indian descent, Dominican or something like that, then you could join in. But if he's not one of them, You can't join it.
What percent do I gotta have?
Your daddy just got to be there. It's no percent. Even Jewish people say that you're Jewish according to your mother, but the Bible says it's according to your father. So like for us, Bob Marley is a white man.
Can you break that down for me?
Because if you ever look up Bob Marley's father, Bob Marley looks like his father in blackface. Because
So
Bob
my
Marley's father
mom
is white.
could be a beautiful black queen, but if my dad's white, I'm out.
That's right.
I'm gonna need your help reading one of these words, but can you say what that shirt says?
This brother has a shirt. This is ISCPK, and that
So pretty much, I know it went by really fast, but the 12 tribes of Israel is American blacks, West Indian blacks, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Guatemala to Panama, American Indians, Seminole Indians, Colombia to Uruguay, Incas, Mexican Aztecs, Argentina, and those from Chile. If you're not one of those, basically their belief, oh, and it gets crazier. I'm about to tell you their belief. Their belief is if you're not one of those, you are eventually going to be enslaved. So people that are one of those will take over the rest of us. Because my father is not. So I would be, I guess, a slave.
Wow.
And you guys are going to take us over and enslave us for the rest of eternity.
Oh my God.
I think they're trying to use like the real 12 tribes of Israel. Is
man.
that what that is, Mr. Nick? Like they're trying to base it off of
There
like
are
take that
different
information.
tribes. There are all different types and tribes of Judaism for sure. For example, when we go to service on Saturday, the rabbi will always ask, "Is there a Cohen?" You know the last name Cohen. He'll always ask if there's a bloodline of a Cohen, and most of the time there's not. Right? It's a very rare bloodline. Because they will get, let's say, first privilege to read from the Torah, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really mean anything, right?
I knew someone with that last name. So, like, they're more blessed.
Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's lawyer.
You know what? Even though he's a Cohen, I don't know if he's a Cohen. I don't know if it just goes by last name. I don't know him completely. I know him, but I don't know him. But yeah, there is some advantages.
You blessed to be Trump,
stuff, right? It's just like you can't pray in a temple unless you have 10 men, right? You can't. These are old traditions. Do they mean much? I mean, depending on how you look into it, I don't really care. But going back to what Slim said, we are living in the age, I think now, where calling someone a racist or just trying to make money on racism, I think is going down a little bit. 10 years ago, when you called somebody a racist, especially a white person, they freak out, right? Doesn't matter they did anything, just the word racist kind of, freaked them out. I think that word has less meaning now. It's been used so many times, just like when you call Donald Trump Hitler, right? It doesn't have the same, punch, right, anymore. And I think the same thing comes with we all know with all this race stuff, the trans ideology stuff, there's money to be made here, right? There's a lot of money to be made here. Pharmaceutical companies, right? Very profitable. You get one kid that's transitioning, that's a patient for life, right? Puberty blockers, testosterone, surgery, blah, 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 right? That's for life. $2 million patient, every person. So we know there's money to be made here, groups, blah, blah, blah. I personally don't like when it comes to color, when it comes to religion. I don't like when someone supersedes other people or feel like they are better from where they come from. That's how I was raised. And most of my time I spend in LA, and I was around everything, and we never talked about color, didn't matter. And we didn't talk about political beliefs at all, right? Until pretty much COVID. And then you start seeing these things about racist and racist that, but you're like, wait, hold on. I went to school with these people. They sat in the same chair as me, right? We went out together. We broke bread. Why are you saying we're racist, right? These people had the same chances as me. I had the same chances as them, right? This country, America, is the greatest country ever. That's why people always want to come here. They want to call it racist. If it's so racist, why is 80% of the migration coming to America? Of the world, 80%, 75% coming to this country if it's so bad. Why? This is the only country where you can go, open a business, nobody cares, just get your license, do your thing. If you're good, if you're what the market wants, you will get paid, regardless of gender, regardless of belief. If you have a service, you will get paid. No one cares about anything else. No one cares. That's my belief. And I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 2, right? And I've never, ever felt like I was less than or I couldn't do. The first time I told you I ran into racism is 150 miles away from LA. It's called Palm Springs. We call it a desert. And that's the first time I ran into skinheads. First time. That was 14 or 15 years old.
You must have been gone when I went. I love Palm Springs.
I've been there plenty of times. It's just we just
Palm
happened to be there that day.
Well, Slim, I know you agree the most with what Mr. Nick said because you're the most anti-racist black guy I know. So go ahead.
I love it, man. I mean, I just wish most of the world has that vision to understand it's really not about color. We live in the greatest country on the planet. And just like the brother said, it doesn't really matter what culture you come from, what's your background. It's all mattering what's up here, what you believe. And if these people could put you in a mind state to make you believe something that's definitely not true and that could divide you from your people, that's wrong, bro. It's all manipulation. You know what I'm saying? So if you can understand that, we're in 2024 almost, we're in 2024, bro. Like, think about what these people are talking about from back in the days. Those days are over with. Like, the racism, the black and white, it's irrelevant right now. Like, we're all equal. We just have to believe we are. And if they tell you that you're not, you just fall into the rhetoric of what they want you to believe. So at the end of the day, I got it tattooed on my body, bro. Intelligence over emotion. If you allow them to prey on your emotion, you will lose, bro. It doesn't matter what color you are. And I'm gonna yield with that.
Vogel, are we all equal?
I believe we are, but I do have some other side to present though. I'm with 85, but during the election, when the debates were high, there was a guy who was military, and he kept attacking me for my stance, and I had to tell him, I'm like, you keep trying to throw your military service in to say that I'm disrespecting you, and I'm like, no, you went to fight for me to have the freedom to express and feel how I want.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying, I don't know if y'all remember in school, the original Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, but the original Martin Luther, who migrated to America because he couldn't practice his religion, right?
Religion.
So what we have to realize, even though this Israelite, FBA, all these other things sound crazy, part of America and part of why it's great is they have that freedom to do that. It's not illegal. They're not doing anything illegal. They have that freedom to believe whatever the hell they want. Even though it sounds crazy to us, but we do have to remember a part of being American and being here is that we have that freedom to believe dumb shit like that. So I just wanted to put that out. I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, I'm going to play this clip at what they believe in. And, do you think they're a hate group? We can talk about that. But this is them telling the guy that was hanging out with them that he's a white slave.
Yeah, get down and get some push-ups. Okay. See, I just told a white man what to do. Whoa. Down. Now you should take a picture. My slave. Get in position.
I'm not doing what Master says.
In the kingdom, when he says I'm not doing what Master says, that's what happens.
So you believe white people are destined to be slaves?
Facts. That's what God said. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
I've never put anyone in captivity. I've never enslaved anyone.
But your ancestors is why you benefit.
Actually, they did.
Where you from?
Poland. I came from the Polish poor farmers in South Dakota that didn't have shit, that came from Poland that didn't have shit, but also I don't believe in collectivism. I don't believe that. That would mean like if one black guy in Pennsylvania did something, I'm gonna be like, oh well, you have to pay for the consequences. Someone that did something 200 years ago, just because you happen to look slightly like them, that is a dumb idea.
No. Thank you, Master T. Thank you, Master T. How happy are you right now? Master T. Master.
I
This is
mean,
getting outrageous. man.
Sorry.
I mean, to me, when I look at that, to me, that seems racist, right?
Yeah.
You owe
It
me
is.
because I'm this and you're that. No
Yeah.
debate, no question, right? But then again, you can do that, going back to what Slim and Vogler said, you can do that in America. Can't do that anywhere else. Not too many places you can do that.
Nope.
You know, to say that to another, you know, whatever race, whatever you want to call it, you can't do that in too many places.
Mm-mm.
Black people ain't racist at all. Black people don't, no matter what they do, they not racist at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
But,
They
you
can
know,
say whatever. Like
God
they did on the
forbid you
live.
call
Remember
a
that
black
day
person
85?
racist.
but no, you know what? Nobody is. I haven't seen any babies walking around like, yeah, I can't wait till I get grown, so I can pay these mofos back. Like you just don't like. They don't come out the womb just with a chip on their shoulder. Like this stuff is passed down. It is
But
trained.
they don't speak for the black community, right?
Yeah.
Not to me. I mean, you know, you're
They
always
think they do though.
What's that?
They
Yeah.
think they do. They think that we're the what are like the black sheep. Like, how dare we speak out and say it
Oh,
doesn't
I'm
exist?
a
And
coon. I'm the biggest coon you ever met. Trust
I
me.
Bro, I
mean,
get
they really feel that way. You know, they can just go to here
once
to
a week.
Compton. You know, they can go to Compton over here, South Central, and see how they feel saying that out there. See how that works out for them.
I
You
think
know what
when
I
you
mean?
see a black dude do that, it's kind of like comical because like it's just like, okay, bro, you serious? These cops would have you in the back of a police car, beat you up. Like, are you serious? Like, you would never get away with this in America. So that's why people like look at this situation as, because if it was reversed, if it was a white guy doing it to a black dude, it'd be
do that.
cringy. Yeah, it'd
Right.
be cringy. Like, oh, I can't
Right.
believe they did this, that. But him doing this, like, bro, you'll be destroyed within like 1 week if they catch you. Like, so that's the only thing that I think that people don't take it seriously.
No.
Look,
Yeah.
the only problem I have with them is them actually carrying out violence. You can say what you want, say what's on your mind. All is good until you put, you know, hands on people and shooting people. That's where I draw the line. And it's funny because they were gone for a while, and I think if Kyrie Irving kind of gave him a little push, hanging out with them, which I find hilarious. And I think Kanye as well. I think had a little something with them.
Yeah.
well, he married a white woman, so there you go. I mean, selective when it applies. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this clip where they ask, "Are they a hate group?" and we can talk about if we think they are.
You guys have been labeled as a hate group.
Yes, we have.
Are you a hate group?
It depends on who you ask, because we love blacks, Latinos, Haitians, Dominicans, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Panamanians.
Do you hate white people?
God hates white people.
Do you hate white people?
I can only hate white people because God hates white people.
So you do through the shield of God.
I do through my father. Like, I hate what my father hates.
Sir, would you say you hate whites?
What I hate is the crimes that were committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what I hate.
Do you hope that I'm enslaved one day?
Well, the Bible says that, the nations that, came up against the nation of Israel will have to serve out their punishment in due time. But, the Lord will make that determination.
How would you diagnose the current state of black America right now?
We got work to do, of course, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we out here. Commander General Yohana gave us the mission to go out here and bring our brothers and sisters out of this hell that we live in called America. As long as we do that, we got work to do.
If you could broadcast a message to every black man in America, what would you tell them?
To have brotherhood and sisterhood, come back to the laws of God, keep the commandments, That's what I would tell them.
Are you guys segregationists?
Segregationists, yeah. Why not?
Has that ever played out poorly in history, would you say?
White people are segregationists.
I don't know, honey. I literally don't know one white person that wants segregation. Here's the truth. In 2024, with access to the internet, if you hate another group because of the color of their skin, you're a fool. Sorry.
And what's the reason? It's not the color of their skin, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's their actions. It's what they do. If it was color of the skin, you heard me earlier say Bob Marley is white. You heard me earlier say we don't like Africans either for the very reason. When somebody commits crimes, you don't think about their color. You think about what they did to you.
Keegan, let me ask you something. In the 48 hours you've been around, have you been mistreated?
No.
Did we feed you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get some water?
Yeah.
We gave him some water.
Right.
We gave him some food. He came around. He gonna go home to his family. One white man came into a black church and nobody went home to their family. We are the most compassionate people on earth. And don't get it twisted. Keegan, I still want to see your nation burn. We gotta take care of us.
Ooh.
Are they a hate group? Gray, are they a hate group? Go.
I wouldn't necessarily classify any particular religious organization as a hate group. You have your extremists and you have people that are just religious.
So what about Al-Qaeda and ISIS? They are
Exactly.
a Muslim organization. Are they a hate group?
Of course, because they believe in jihad, they carried out terrorist attacks.
That's the only difference. They got
what
weapons.
they believed in. What was that, Volker?
Get these fools some weapons. That's the only. I'm trying to tell you. The only difference between a lot of these groups. Some got weapons and some don't. That's how I'm really starting to feel now. You get that guy that just said all that crap. Some tanks, some RPGs, and some other. Man, they be on.
I got in a disagreement with a friend about them, and I said, to me, they are a hate group. To me, I see them in the same category. Sorry, this is going to sound extreme, as the KKK. They are a hate group. Their agenda is to push hatred, to put hatred ideology. Things like this plants in people's minds. And yes, maybe the group doesn't cause violence, but enough of this indoctrination, you cause violence eventually to someone that you hate, a white person, the KKK, another black person, or person of color, something. And that is my issue with them. And I understand we have freedom of speech, but at the same time, this hateful ideology, it just harms people. And that's my issue with them.
Before Mr. Nick, 'cause I know you're going to agree with Nora or Slim, do you think they're a hate group?
Heck yeah, I think they're a hate group. They're a bunch of clowns. They're a bunch of punks. Dudes sitting there with $500 shades on talking about what they did to us. What they do to you. Come on, bro.
Can I give an example?
Hair nicely braided and parted. Chilling what they did to us. Come on, bro. That's what I'm talking about. It's these dudes right here that always want to front on the country. Like, where did you make your money, bro? You had to make your money in America. You had to. Come on, man.
Mr. Nick, is this a real threat to the Jewish community, or is this just is this a real threat?
So I'm in between a little bit of everybody. So is it a hate group? I believe so. I understand what you're saying, Gary, because you're like, there's some of them are extreme and they will take just a small minority will take the next action, right? They will actually go and maybe hurt somebody. My problem is they actually did that in 2019. They killed 4 people, right? They actually went ahead and did that in New York or New Jersey. And that's not the first time. But if the way I explain, like the way you were explaining ISIS and being jihad, if you go to Hamas' website, they have their chapter, right? What they're about. They're about river to the sea and killing every Jew in the world. It's right there on Google. That's their charter. That's what they're about. The Israelites, or the Black Hebrew Israelites, are basically saying the same thing, right? We hate everything that's white, right? You will be our slave. You do owe us this. You do owe us that, right? Now, what's funny is some of those clips didn't talk a lot about the Jewish part. I feel like the clips that I saw them talking about Jews, I felt like there was a little bit more umph over there, a little bit more hate when it came to Jews. But yeah, do I think they're a hate group? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are.
I have a clip where they talk about the Jews. I just didn't play it yet. I have to play it. But I will show you guys he is right. I just want to show this for the audience. There was a hate crime in 2019, like Mr. Nick said. Jersey City shooters fueled by hatred of Jewish people and law enforcement. And it does talk about here that it was done by the Black Hebrew Israelites. So he is telling the truth. You guys can look it up. It is true. And this is why I still say that they are a hate group and they do cause hate. And also, FYI, Martin Luther King's mother was killed by one of them. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, but he was a
sorry.
He was a lone gunman. So in that case, were these people lone gunmen, or was this like an actual like organization saying, "Hey, go commit this act," or was people that just said, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this"? Because in Martin Luther King mother's situation, they said that guy had a mental illness and had schizophrenia.
Mr. Nick, do you know about it?
Black Israelite.
I don't know if, and this is what I'm going back to what Gary's saying. Is it just a few in this collective 10,000, whatever they are, that really feel that kind of way, that they will really put hands on people and shoot people? I do believe Gary's right. I don't believe they're all 10,000 are like that. I don't. But I do believe that when your purpose is to hate, and that's what you're practicing all the time, that's where it gets a little bit more dangerous. And I don't know how organized they are. I don't know if they're talking about attacks every weekend. I don't think they are. I don't think they have the same level of passion as jihadists. Maybe because we're in America, maybe.
Right.
But overall, am I bothered by them? No. If I walked by one, am I think I'm going to get shot? Probably not. But to me, they're just racist dummies to me.
But that proves my point, though. Yeah, but that proves my point, though, that this rhetoric plants seeds in people's minds that may have mental issues, may have whatever pre-existing, and then they go out and cause harm, which is what I said. This was an example of it.
You're
which you just
basically
named out.
talking about like the media when they call Donald Trump a Hitler, and then you got one kid that wants to go take him out in Pennsylvania, right? Those people that are mentally unstable, that they think that they're hearing that and they think he's going to be a hero, right? That kind of stuff. That's where the media is dangerous. And that's where you're saying, to echo what you're saying, yeah, it is dangerous, because you will get that personality, and it could be what Gary's saying. Maybe it was that one-off person that heard something and did something to Martin Luther King, right? Words, to the mother. Words matter. Words have power, right? And the stronger you are, the more influence you have, the stronger your words are, the more they echo, right? That's how I feel about that.
Vogel, you didn't say whether they were a hate group or not. What do you think?
I'm going to say yes, because it sounds like a lot of hate within what they're saying. I was going to put it to, I keep saying they're just a group without funding. I truly believe that they're a terrorist group. They just don't have the funding. They don't have the machines. And then you have people like that. I would say it's like a child, a child who pouts and hates his parents, but he can't do anything. If you let them grow a little bit more, they end up like what was those kids that end up unaliving their parents?
Oh,
the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like you let them grow up, a little bit of funding, get a little bit of this, they could cause some chaos. Like that guy felt really strong about what he was saying.
You believe that?
Yeah. So I will say they have hate. They hate
really
that.
Believe that shit.
They hate that at one point we were enslaved. It happened. There's nobody living right now who was a part of that.
But Nora, before you go to the next clip to respond to Vogel thing, so Vogel, you know, like in the wild with the lions, where like with the lion come and take the mates away from the other lion, he unalives
Get rid of
the
offspring, yeah.
because he
To
don't
start
want
his
the
own.
cub to come up and grow up and attack him. So you think that's how we should handle stuff? Don't let the cubs get big.
I mean, we about 100 years too late for that. maybe if we'd did it right at the beginning, but that's all I was saying. we a little late on it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this clip where it breaks down who they are. I think this is where they talk about Jewish people and what they think.
These are the Black Israelites, and they've been designated as a hate group. They hate a lot of different types of people, but they reserve their highest level of hatred for gay people and white people. They believe that Jewish people are imposters and that they, the Black Israelites, are the true descendants of Israel and thereby the chosen people of God. Furthermore, they believe that when Black Jesus comes back for the rapture, that they will take over the earth and enslave the Caucasians and Asians. Now, they call themselves the Black Israelites, but probably because recruiting numbers were awfully low, they began to include Latinos and Native Americans under their umbrella. To better understand how these guys think and operate, I thought it would be a good idea to send the whitest guy in my crew, Keegan, to spend 3 days with them in Harlem, New York. What you will see in today's episode will be a combination of me personally meeting this faction of the Black Israelites.
So yeah, that's where they talk about their hatred for Jewish people, and and they do worship Jesus, but I don't know what Bible they're reading, because Jesus talked about love, being just, being fair, being open to people of different races. We weren't reading the same Bible. That's just me.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna jump in for you. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Vogel. Say what you were gonna say.
As the video was playing, I just kept thinking about the player haters ball on Dave Chappelle.
What?
Go ahead. God just kept hearing hate. That's
So
all you
Nick,
hear is hate. But
you know a little bit more where you said like there is more oomph towards like Jewish people. It seems like it's because their whole platform is that they're the real Jews. So
Jews,
like,
they're the real Jews. And what's funny to what Nora said is that she says, I don't know what Bible they're reading at, because it's not. It seems like they pick and choose. It seems like from the Bible and yet from the Torah. Because when they're talking about the Messiah coming and resurrecting people, that's more on the Jewish side. Where they come against Israel, we will rise. But it's never been about Christians. It's not really
Right. Focus on Jesus's principles. Like you're not hearing fruits of the Spirit. Like you're not hearing those things. Exactly.
I think they are, they have their narrative, obviously. I don't think they go by the rules, by the book. You talk to a Christian, you get clarity. Talk to a Catholic, you get clarity. Talk to a scholar Jew, you'll get clarity. To some really honest Muslims, you'll get clarity.
To a Democrat, you'd be like, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, but that's a whole different thing. All right. You'll get some clarity with them. I don't think you'll get clarity. It just seems like the more they scream, the more they yell. That's how they get their point across.
So Slim, you going at the Democrats and all this. So you think the Black Israelites? You think they're Republicans or Democrats?
You know they Democrats, bro.
They gotta be
Come
Democrats.
on, man. They gotta be Democrats.
They said they didn't
All that
support Kamala. No, I have.
all that emotion.
They don't
too much
support
emotion.
Kamala because Kamala ain't
black. Yeah.
Yeah. Play that clip, Dora. Play that.
Okay. I'll play that clip.
They definitely ain't support Trump. You better believe that.
I'll play that clip. Let me play the clip. I think this is it.
Shirt. This is IFCPK, and that's called Real Nigga University.
Nice to meet you. I'm Tommy. How you doing? How are you?
No problem. Now, a lot of people, of course, the word nigga has always been a derogatory term for black people in America, but this is also an identifying marker for who the children of Israel are in the Bible. When you go to the book of Acts 13, verse 1, they call Barnabas Niger. which is where nigga comes from.
How long did it take for you to acquire your real
nigga
status?
You can,
Me? It took me 90 days.
And what kind of training or certification did you undergo in your quest to become a real
nigga?
I attend class for 90 days, and then that's when I'm born again.
And what made you say, I want to become a real
nigga?
It was nothing out there for me to navigate to become and understand who I was and who I am. I looked at the word nigga as a negative term until I found out that it was an identity marker. You know, it's a shocker when you wake up and you find out that you're the descendants of Moses.
Was Moses a real
nigga? Hell yeah.
Was Jesus Christ a real?
The realest nigga.
Was Malcolm X a real?
No.
A real?
No. Malcolm X had a good spirit for brother. Hey, can I get my coffee?
Let's go, turn it up. You're moving too slow.
Malcolm X was
Hold on. Can I say something? Well, I was expecting your coffee to come straight black. And right now, that coffee has got some Caucasian mixed into it, brother.
This is a vintage.
This is allowed in this school and the real...
Yeah, real nigga university. Yeah, we drink coffee. This is oat milk shaken espresso, vanilla cinnamon foam.
Is vanilla?
Yeah,
are you incorporating my culture right now?
This is the best part. This man, went and got him some Starbucks. This is first world problems, y'all. He went and got him some Starbucks, some $8 coffee, and he's talking about how they're I don't have the clip, y'all, but basically, to go back to, because Gray wants to hear about it. They pretty much said that Kamala Harris is not a black woman, and they're offended that the Democrats put her out in front of everyone. This is their views, that the Democrats put her out in front of black people to get the black vote, and they'll never vote for her. So to answer your question, I don't have the clip though. Sorry.
Oh man, these dudes are clowns, bro.
Yo, he
trolled. That looked like a skit. I can't lie. That looked like a skit. Honestly, I can't believe we kept pointing at the guy. I'm like,
yeah, that was classic content. I must say, that was
just
classic.
Kept laughing over and over doing it.
Oh man, it's hilarious.
So Nick, what do you think?
Look,
you
at towards the end, it looked like a Dave Chappelle kind of skit, you know.
I'm telling you, I've been saying it the whole
I saw it now. I saw it more towards the end. You know, they took it to that extra level.
Man.
I really hope that we don't have to really talk about them again, because if we do, that means
no, we're done.
They ain't going nowhere. No, we gonna have to.
Hopefully, they don't do something, or like Volger says, get some funding, right? Then we really have to talk about them, right? Look, it's interesting. There's a lot of people in this country. They got a lot of different ideas. Some people are able to broadcast that, and some people a little less. I think they're still going to do their thing, right? They're still going to be in the corners yelling, screaming. I don't care really so much that they say they're part of Jewish descent. If you're part of Jewish descent, that doesn't bother me. But what doesn't bother me, but a little nags me, is that he's going to tell me that I'm like, you can say you're the first Jew or the real Jew, but you can't come and say you're not a Jew, right? You can't say that. You can say a lot of things. You can say I'm more Jewish than you, whatever that means, right? But you can't say, right, you're not a Jew, I'm the real Jew, you're not Jewish, or whatever you are, right? Because I did my ancestry, right? And I'm 98% of me is, Middle East, right?
Nick, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Why is it that this is the rumor I heard? You can tell me not true or true. Why is DNA testing illegal in Israel? Is that true, or is that like a myth?
It's not true. It's not true. I know that was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
But there was a thing with the Holocaust and stuff like that. I remember, but it's not a popular thing by far in Israel. It's pretty simple, right? You sit with your grandpa or you sit with your grandma. Most of them tell you they weren't born there. On what age? That they were either from Europe, either from the Middle East. Very small of them were in Israel, but most of them in the Holocaust. That's either when they had to leave Europe or when they started getting slaughtered in the Middle East, they had to leave. But you can always trace their roots back to Judea, back to where Jesus was born, right? Bethlehem, Nazareth, stuff like that. You can always trace their roots there to these certain things. But I mean, you want to be Jewish, that's fine. Doesn't mean you have to hate everybody and hate Jews. That's all I'm saying.
Facts.
I did my ancestry. I'm 5% Sephardic Jewish.
Sephardic Jewish. So that means you got some Jewish Middle Eastern in you.
Yeah.
I might find out I'm a Black Israelite. I freak out. I'm just kidding.
You might be.
Slim, you Captain Equality. Like and Slim, you always say the best cure to racism is not to talk about it. That's what Morgan Freeman said. So so for the people, since we're talking about this, what's the cure to racism then? If we don't talk about it, like, what's the cure?
The cure is not to allow it to be in your brain, bro. Get it off your mind. Just live and help others. Do as much as you can to help the next man next to you. Doesn't matter what complexion they are.
Yep.
That's the best I got.
For sure.
Y'all want to hear something funny? I was on a live and this lady was like, oh, they were talking about you, Slim. She was like, I'm never going to the new party anymore because they're a bunch of racist, ignorant Black people. Don't ever go to that live.
Was that girl that was like talking
no,
over
it was
everybody?
Her homegirl. No, it was her homegirl.
It was affiliation. I understand. Very good.
Nick, I know you have to go. Give us your closing thoughts, and then we'll go to Volga.
My closing thoughts, if we're talking about race, religion, and all that stuff, especially in America. Look, I grew up in the 80s. I had two idols in my life, and this is how I can prove that racism doesn't exist. There were Magic Johnson, right, and Michael Jackson. I had posters of both of those men in my room. No, I didn't. It wasn't about two Black men because my dad never cared. You can't have a Black. You got to have a. That didn't happen, right?
You like the music.
and having, those, because those are probably the only posters I've ever had. Okay, after a while, I was really connected to Kobe. That's a whole different thing. But that was the only posters I really had growing up. That's how I know I'm not racist, because nobody ever told me. My dad never told me you can't have Black men up there. That's who I idolized, right? Those were my heroes, right? That, Kobe is probably, when I grew up, he's 4 years older than me, but I watched him every game since a rookie. That's a deeper connection. I was wrecked when he passed. But I feel like I grew up with him because my professional career started kind of when he started in the NBA. That's a whole different thing. But, I idolized him, right? Never talked about race. All he talked about is hard work and hard work and hard work and values, right? And that's what I think needs to be, practice as much as we can in this world, is not to look people by what color they are, but by their actions, right? Who are you? What are you? What do you believe in? What are your values? What do you bring to the table? Do I want my son to look up to someone like you? It's pretty simple things. And I feel like that was easy in the 90s. We had heroes. We had Van Damme, we had Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We had all these guys, and we didn't care that they had an accent, that they were big, they were small, European, Black. We didn't care, right? At all. And now we started caring, right? Oh, you're a Black actor, you can't act as a white man. You're a white man, you can't do a blackface, right? Or you can't gay, whatever it is, right? I don't believe in that. That's not how I roll. That's not how I teach my children. Everybody that I come in contact with, I don't care what gender, what race you are, it's who you are, and how you treat me is how I'm going to treat you. And we should go back to that. That's the only thing that matters, I think.
Nick, can I ask you one last question?
Yes, of course.
Do you guys have a Christmas tree up?
No.
No. Okay. Because I wanted to ask that because we were on a live one day and I just was curious. I asked this other guy and he wouldn't answer it.
So my wife, she got a lot of Hanukkah stuff that looks like Christmas stuff, right? So she got
Oh,
like this long sleeve of it's not a tree, but it's like a long branch, right? That's like blue, and we put the lights blue. It is not really common for Jews to decorate for Hanukkah. It's important to have a
right.
menorah, right? And the menorah to
Mm-hmm.
be the closest window so people can see that a Jew
Mm-hmm.
lives here. I don't know for what reason, but that's kind of like what it is. But that's as far as it goes to decorations. Now, living in America is different because I got I got those plants, I got the lights, I got the thing in front of my. That's my wife trying to make it, fun for the
For the
kids.
kids.
Because they
Yeah.
see other homes that have Christmas, and they're like, "Why can't we?" Okay, well now we can,
This
right?
is
This
our
yeah,
Christmas because
this
Hanukkah,
and
yeah.
and it's important for them. And my kids, they go to school, and obviously they have Christian friends, Catholic friends. So what? I don't teach them. I teach them. It's important how they treat you, right? But it's important to also educate them where they come from, where other people come from, to respect other religions, right? I think that's very important. I don't think that you can respect other people without knowing a little bit about them, what they're about,
Mhm.
right? That's how I feel, right?
I agree.
That's why I'm curious about history. That's why I'm curious about other countries, what they did, what they didn't do. That's why I'm curious about a lot of things. I don't get everything right, obviously, but I do hope that the next 4 years brings down the temperature. It's not going to go
Mhm.
away, right? Stereotype, racism doesn't go away like this, but isn't an existing problem? I don't think so. And I think about it all the time because I'm at the bank, I'm in my car, I'm in my business, I'm looking around
Mhm.
me, and everybody's minorities. The majority is
Mhm.
minorities, and everybody is doing daily activities, daily business without caring about how they look or who they are, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you're going to the bank, it's a Latino guy, and the guy depositing is a white guy, and the other guy outside is a black guy. Nobody cares. Nobody looks around. Everybody does their thing until their feelings get hurt, right? Now, if
Mhm.
now suddenly you came in and it was 4:59 and the guy closed the door, oh, you hate me because I'm gay, right? That's that, that's a you know, that's really, really a
Mhm.
stretch. But that's when I feel like people are trying to get attention, right? You don't like
Mhm. Get
this,
over.
or you didn't get the good service because of this. I think, and people are using that, and I think that's wrong. Right? I've never used that, and I've gotten bad service, and I don't tell somebody you're doing this because I'm Jewish, right? I don't, right? But some people do.
For sure, for sure. Well, Nick, we definitely appreciate you having you on.
Yes, Nick.
Thank
Oh
Thank
you for
yeah.
you.
having me on, guys.
Oh
And
yeah.
you
Thanks
always
for
give
coming.
good
Happy
information.
Hanukkah, Nick.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy holidays.
Hanukkah.
Happy Christmas. Happy New Year's.
Bye.
Thank you, Vulgar. Thank you, Slim. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Nora. Hopefully, we can do another podcast soon.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Come
We'll
back.
have you back
Anytime,
on
man.
soon,
Thank
Nick.
you.
Have a
Thank
happy
you,
new
guys.
year.
Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. Happy New Year's and happy holidays.
All
For
right.
sure.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Well, we can wrap up. We appreciate Nick for coming on and being a guest.
I
Very
like
much your
Nick.
closing
Nick
thoughts.
was cool. I like Nick. Sorry.
Oh
I do
yeah.
have to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. He
I'm a little
cool.
tipsy. 1738.
I got the I
1738.
got cinnamon whiskey over here. Holiday. I did have some eggnog, but it's gone.
Hey,
Oh.
it's the holidays, guys. Come
Oh
on,
yeah.
man. It's
Yeah,
time
we
to
have to have
represent.
happy times.
Everybody be happy, man. Get your money and love your neighbor, man. For real.
For sure, for sure. Go ahead,
Um.
Nora.
I'll go ahead.
Vulgar.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Go ahead and give your closing thoughts, and then I'll speak.
Oh no, I was gonna answer from earlier because I agree with Slim as far as like we got to get rid of the color, right? I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
say completely though, like I don't want to just throw bleach in there. Um, I think that we need to be America first, but at the same time, I don't know if people know the story of Coke and Pepsi. Like pretty much Coke probably wouldn't have survived without Pepsi. They both needed each other. There was a competition, right? I think that yeah, we America first. We are blacks. You have whites and them in different races. It needs to be competitive to where the end goal is it's going to be a winner or loser, right? But I think that competition needs to be there. I think that's why like Nora gets on me, Nora J and everybody else gets on me because I'm like, they're like, you don't care about race and anything. I do in a sense, but I don't want race to be a reason why I'm not competing. So I think as black people, instead of like hanging on to this slavery mentality or we were oppressed before, now we need to be the oppressors. No, let's all get on the track and it becomes a competition and let's see who wins through capitalism. Black people, okay, we all American, but black people, we need to sit down. Okay, how can we get our districts in the hood? That's how we get our hoods. Chicago and how we get rid of all that. We start to be competitive. We need to bring more commerce to our hoods and stop focusing on shoot 'em up, bang bang.
Right.
Because
Or
that's what all this
businesses.
Hebrew Israelite stuff is going towards. It's just the next wave of gangs. Because after they lose sight of it was about slavery or whatever, all those people that's in there, you here's the thing. You throw a little crack in there like they did in the 80s, and now you got a drug epidemic because
Mhm.
they forgot about what they believed in, but they need something new. So you throw something in there. That's why it becomes a weakness. And now you got the gains, but instead, let's build our wealth. Let our
Facts.
race be the separation as far as us competing in the market. That's what I'm trying to say.
Slim, did you give your closing thoughts?
Oh yeah, I was good, man. I was letting you
Oh,
guys
okay.
go.
I mean, I just feel like we got to have these types of conversations to, push the information. Like, I feel like when people see people like Slim and Vulgar say, we don't see race, we want this. I think that's good to put out into the world. And I think, it's a lot of people in interracial relationships. My girl, Puerto Rican and Italian. My nephew's biracial. I mean, like, so I feel like it's more of like we're having a symbiotic relationship where we can work together and hopefully everybody can live some type of comfort.
Facts.
Yep.
Laura?
No, I'm in agreement. I think people should be able to have freedom of religions, like Boger said. But I feel like once you go into that gray area of you attacking someone else for their race, their religion, then that's where that freedom, I think, gets altered because then you're infringing on someone else's rights by attacking them, even if it's verbally and saying those things. But anyways, that's just me. But letting y'all know our schedule for next week. We believe in happy holidays. So we will be having our show just next Thursday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're leading up into Christmas. Everyone needs to spend time with their family. And the same will be just January 2nd. So we really appreciate everyone for watching and supporting us. If you're not subscribing, if you could please subscribe. And you can check us out at TikTok at 12 noon. We would probably be sticking with that, Gray, right? Except for maybe Christmas Eve. Well, most likely we'll be sticking to every day except for Christmas, probably. With that, so we'll be doing Lunch with the New Party. If you missed us on the live, 12 p.m., come check us out at the New Party 24. Gray is now the host. He's doing a great job, better than me, because they just love seeing the MAGA hat and the hate is so strong. So we've shifted to Gray being the host, and it's very left, but 85 and myself, we balance it out to try to have it be a little red and MAGA. That's my closing words. Anything you want to say, Gray?
No, happy holidays. Hopefully we get to see y'all again before, but if not, enjoy the time with your family.
Always vote.
Always vote. God bless everyone.
I'm gonna have to get up earlier to try to come on this lunch.
Yeah, man. I be missing it too.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad,
All
Boog. I be missing it too, bro.
I'm gonna try to get up early.